Hey everyone, welcome back to Bryan's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail, and today's case is going to be a lot different. It's going to be a silent video, and you'll understand what I mean, but this case was unbelievable, and the fact that this man was able to be saved and make his way out is a true miracle. And I say this because this man was deaf, and he had 2200 vision. I don't know if I'm saying that accurately, but he was basically blind without his glasses. He lived a nice life, though. He had a happy life. He had been in the military before all these things happened, and he was diagnosed at an early age. He contracted meningitis, and that's what destroyed his hearing. And as far as being in the military, he obviously wasn't a foot soldier. He was a consultant. He helped work with them on different things. And one day he was sitting on his porch swing, and he just wanted to go out for a walk. And this wasn't anything new to him. But unfortunately, this time it was going to be a lot different. And Steve Smith, which is obviously an alias, but Steve walked off. He went into the wilderness of Montana. He thought he was just going to go out for an everyday walk, and there was no reason to be alarmed or have any worries. But unfortunately for Steve, after he walked maybe a mile and enjoying the beautiful scenery, he suffered a fall. And after this fall, which was a very bad fall, he came about and his glasses were broken. So now this man who can basically not hear anything, and now he cannot see anything, is wandering around the wilderness with nobody knowing where he is, and he himself has no idea where he is or how he's going to get out. And of course, panic set in. And for those cynics of you, this man sent this story in to me. He never reported any of this to the media. But the fact is that the details and the level of information he gave me, I believe this story to be true. And I can't imagine waking up after a fall, unconscious, and not having your glasses, being deaf, being stuck in the middle of nowhere. And I think a lot of us would also appreciate the fact that the woods and the mountains are dangerous enough, but imagine not being able to hear, imagine not being able to see. And I think there's a reference to this in the Bible somewhere, but I'm not really that sure. One of his neighbors went to check on him, but they had no idea what was going on with him. They had no idea what he was going through. He was out in the wilderness, and the only thing he could do was grasp every tree branch that he could find to move forward. And what he said was it took him hours and hours just to go several hundred feet because he couldn't see, and he was panicking, and he tried to yell out for help, but people that are deaf, their voice isn't the same as yours or ours, and he was just trapped in this horrible situation. I wanted to share this story because it is an absolutely amazing story, and the fact that this man went through this and was able to get out of it is just an absolute miracle. Imagine being stuck in the forest, having no hearing, not being able to see. He said that he did panic at many times, and I understand that. But he also kept his wits about him. He knew that he had to keep his wits about him to be able to get out of this alive. But he also said that he knew that his odds of surviving were very rare. Somehow he had gotten himself turned around after he left his home, his bench, He lived in and around this area, but once he lost his glasses and he couldn't see, it was just a nightmare for him. And he was panicking, like anyone would do. But this man kept his strength about him, and he kept on moving forward. And he had to endure thunderstorms. There was crazy lightning and hail and thunderstorms reported in that area during that time. He sought shelter under whatever he could find. And remember, this man can barely see. And he said that he, at moments, was hallucinating, and he imagined himself in his car looking out at raindrops. And I just can't even imagine what this man went through. But this man is a true hero, because he was able to eventually get out. And that's what this story is about. He walked and walked. He could see clouds. He could see certain things. He wasn't completely blind, but it wouldn't be like what an average person would be able to see. He was basically walking in vain. He had no idea which direction he was going in, and he felt like the forest was just closing in on him. This poor man was literally walking in circles, and he couldn't find water until one time he did. He just happened to stumble upon water. He could feel it on his feet, and that was a gift. But unfortunately, he continued to walk in circles, and he had no idea of which direction he was going, how he was going to get out. And the finding of water was a good thing, but he knew he was in serious trouble. I can't even imagine. And I know a lot of you are going to say stuff like why I'm talking in this version, and it's because this man was deaf. He couldn't see. He went through something that probably none of us could ever even imagine. He was alone in the darkness, in the forest, in all these things that normally we would have our senses, but he didn't have any of those to his advantage. After the third day, he had little strength left. And I'm sorry if I get choked up, but it's just such a crazy story. And this man is amazing to me. He was able to keep moving by holding trees. He was grabbing trees and moving forward. At one point, he finally saw headlights of a car. He didn't know that they were headlights. He just saw something. And those headlights were actually just a random car that was driving through this particular area that he happened to be walking through. Unfortunately, they didn't see him. The car didn't see him. And he didn't have enough senses to be able to get to the car. So he had to keep on suffering, just wandering around in the darkness. I mean, can you imagine how horrible that must be? Imagine just doing it with all your senses working. And here this man had basically none of his senses working. This man was a loner. He only had a few friends, but that doesn't make him a bad person. But unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of information. And this man had to endure several more thunderstorms and just terrible things out in the wilderness by himself. And I just can't even imagine the horror, the fear. The good news is that after day number 4, he came to a stream. He walked into it. He was able to get some water. Unfortunately, he drank the water, which was good. It rehydrated him, but then he got sick, probably from Giardia. We don't know for sure, but he had to endure several nights of being horribly sick and just getting even more dehydrated, and also not being able to find more water. By the 5th day, he was, what he says, he was going out of his mind. He said that he had lost his will to move on. He had just basically lost his mind, gone crazy. And that is something that happens when you don't have water, when you're lost. thankfully for him, a farmer in the local area and some other brave search and rescue people that had heard about this story, they weren't even real search and rescue people. They were just people that cared and had heard about the story, had gone out looking for him. They picked up his trail because in this particular area it was very muddy. They found his footprints, and one guy in particular said that they should go in a certain direction, and he was right. After hours of looking, they finally found him. He was cowering underneath a tree and obviously in despair, but they rescued him. They brought him back to safety. He still lives a great life to this day. He doesn't hold any grudges against what happened to him. He thinks that the wilderness is a great place, but it's an example of how someone who has even these kind of disabilities can make it out of the wilderness. I just wanted to share this story with you because I know a lot of you are great people. 99% of you are great people. There's 1% that are cynics, but I challenge you to be in his situation, be able to make it out alive. And this story was just so inspirational to me. So I wanted to share it with you. I know I spoke in a certain way in this video and had certain sound effects, but it was to give you an idea of what this man possibly went through in his time. But it was to help give you an idea of what this man probably went through, being deaf, being blind, and I just hope that it's an inspiration to all of you. And these kind of stories don't happen often, and this particular story just touched me so much. I wanted to share it with you guys, and I hope it gives you some insight into the kind of bravery and what it takes to get through hard situations. Sometimes we deny ourselves what we actually are capable of, but here this man was deaf and basically blind, and he was able to make it out alive. And I hope that's an inspiration to all of you. Hey everyone, I know this was a difficult story and I know it was hard to hear, but I wanted to let you guys know about it, and I wanted to hopefully inspire you. And I want to always thank you for watching. Thank you for all your support. If you have any suggestions for me, I'm always open to constructive feedback. Any type of feedback you want to give me, my email is back up and running, so you can leave me an email, contact me in any way you want. But I just wanted to say thank you for all you wonderful people, for being such great people and for following along. And that's all I can say. Thank you for watching, and a special thank you to co.ag for providing the background music. And I will see everybody in the next one. Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me till the end. And one of the reasons I wanted to share this story with you, because we're all born differently. We're born with different things. Some of us are born with raw talent, the ability to do amazing things. But I wanted to show you that hard work and dedication will always overcome raw talent. If you put your mind to something, and I know a lot of you will laugh at me and make fun of me, and that's fine, but hard work will always beat raw talent. So if you have something, if you want to work on it, do it. I inspire you to work as hard as you can on anything you want to do in life, because you can achieve it through hard work. I have a twin brother who is just naturally gifted. There is nothing that comes easier to him than breathing comes to us. But me, I have to work very hard at everything I do to achieve things, and I'm not complaining. I'm happy with my life. One of the beautiful things about working hard at something, when you do work hard and you do accomplish something, you appreciate it more. People that are given things or don't have to work hard at things, they generally are not appreciative of what they have. I'm not saying everyone, I'm just generalizing. But when you work hard at something, you're proud of it. You appreciate what you've done. And I just wishing all you guys the best, wishing to hopefully meet some of you on my trip west. And like I said, my email is back up and running, so if any of you guys have any case suggestions or anything you want to talk about, I'm all about constructive feedback. Anything that you guys want to say, I'm all ears. And I just want to say thank you for all of you wonderful people for being so supportive and dedicated and watching my channel and trying to help others as well. Since we have reached the 65,000 subscriber mark, and I thank you all for all of that. I couldn't have done it without you. You guys are absolutely amazing. So I want to give a prize to someone. I'm going to be posting a picture here at the end of this video. The first person that can tell me who this man is, why he is my hero, why he's my inspiration for everything I can do, and any other things you can think of, you will be getting a very generous prize. So you can either email me or comment, whatever you feel is necessary. But thank you all so much for getting me to the 65,000 subscriber mark. I know it doesn't mean anything in the world, but I appreciate it and I thank you all for it. And here is the picture of the man who is my hero, and I just think was one of the most amazing men in history. Most people only know him for one thing, but he did so many things for humanity. And for those that look him up and see who he was, you'll understand what I mean. I'm not sure what any of you believe in. I'm not even sure what I believe in, but one verse that I really like is 1 Corinthians 13:7. Love hopes all things. I'll see you next time.